Alright, the blues box, we're going to start this. The blues box is going to start here on number 4, key of A minor pentatonic. You want to be able to slide on any string from box to box. So box 4. Box 5. Box 1. Box 2. Box 3. Back to box 4. Okay, part 2. We're going to use, as we discussed, strings 2 and 3 to slide on licks. Strings 1, 2, and 3. So the first one was pretty easy. Use any one of these to slide. So I'm basically coming out of box 4. Don't apply pressure until you've actually completed the slide. So get just enough to hear the glissando and then apply the pressure. And vibrato. You have vibrato that moves this way. That's classical. You have vibrato that moves up, down, circular. All sorts of different vibrato. So once you reach your target note, so first you put a little grease on it, reach your note and shake it. You try your different vibratos. Using string 1 as our transition string. Different vibrato on the pinky than you have on the ring. The ring is a little harder to control. The pinky has a nice, using that classical vibrato that moves left and right. Middle finger, first. Alright, so using string 1 as your slider, and using both strings as your slider, now we're into the double stop. The key of A. Alright, so that's relative to the minor pentatonic. Going to the 4 chord. When we go into the 4 chord, we're going to use that lightning Hopkins kind of form, but now we're going to use it relative to the D major. It won't always be appropriate, but here we over the 4 chord, you can always default to the minor pentatonic of your tonic key. So even though we're on a D, you can always default to the A minor pentatonic. But for a moment here, we're in D. Or as we mixed in with that. All right, so let's look at that. Let's look at that lick really quick. Alright, moving into our next part, our tricky inverted 7th lick. Alright, for the inverted 7th lick, you got two choices. You can play it as a triplet, or you can play it as 16th notes. So if it's a triplet, I guess I would... If it's 16th notes, I guess I would go... Very different feel. Triplets. Sixteenths. Alright, so here we go. We're going to do this 2 times. Alright, next E. Alright, here we got our E lick, and we're going to play the low E string, and we're going to take that form from the A. And I would do it like so. Alright, so there it is over the E. Next we're going to talk about the miniature chords. Okay, using the mini chords now to play in the key of A. Now we're now playing A major, like A mixolydian, and we got... to a D9. E9 implied, D9 implied. So what I have to know here is in the D9 I'm not playing the root at all. I'm playing string 4, 4th fret, that's F sharp, string 3, 5th fret, there's your flat 7th of the D chord, that's the C. So this is an implied D chord. Now I haven't even got a D in here, but what I want you to visualize is the D9. So you should know your D9 chord. And when you visualize that D9, picture good notes on 7, 7, 7. Okay, so it's 7, 7, 7. It's a little, but we can also go. So because it's a D9, we get the F sharp here. The F sharp is to the D chord. Okay, the F sharp to the D chord is the major 3rd. The F sharp to the A is the major 6th. So we have a very up sounding interval either way. Either it's a major 3rd or a major 6th. So we have, and then over the A. I actually took that opportunity to play a little bit of a half diminished. F sharp, A, C natural, E flat, F sharp. So let's talk about it in terms of the key of D. F sharp is the major 3rd, A is the perfect 5th, C is the flat 7th, E flat is the flat 2nd. So if the song is going to stay on D a while, to go back to A. Now if the song's already returned to A, you've got the major 6th of the A. So I'm going to play it relative to A open. Major 6th, root, flat 3rd, flat 5th. What did we say about the root, the flat 3rd, and the flat 5th? And the flat 7th, it is a half diminished. So here we are starting on the 6th, root, flat 3rd, flat 5th, 6th. It has a half diminished feel because of the flat 3rd, the root, and the flat 5th being stacked in there together. But adding the 6th here gives it a jazz feel. So we have a half diminished with a jazz feel. Now here, remember, we're talking about the A is the root. Coming out from the D chord back to the A. This is the opportunity. This is exactly when we want to use this. All right. Half diminished every 3 frets coming next. Okay, half diminished every 3 frets. So I figured out that if we're just chunking along an A, if you listen to Malted Milk by Eric Clapton, he's got a riff quite like this, where he plays it every 3 frets and it sounds spooky almost, and it's a half diminished in the Mixolydian. So what we have here is a so that's going to work. What do I do to get from the 1 chord to the 4 chord? Well, something you can do here is highlight the major 3rd and the 5th of the A and move it every 3 frets. You take a blues like in your box, move it every 3 frets, and you have now a half diminished run. It's not always right, but I mean it always can be put in, but it just doesn't always sound the best. So one thing you do is wait till you're about to go to the 4 chord. So if you got a blues, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or you can go right to the D. So tone of the D. What do? We blended our half diminished lick and an approach to the 4 chord. On the 4, we moved right into the major 3rd of the 4 chord. You can make it a chromatic run on string 4 if you like. Sounds good. Last, the finger exercise. All right, now the finger exercise we've got going here is playing one note with every finger of the left hand. Can you hear a difference? We're striving for total consistency. What I'm going to try to do here is bury the beat. I was a little ahead of it, I think. We're striving for the same quality of every note. All right, and the point, there's a few points to this. The first is agility. The second is legato playing. If you can make these sounds somewhat connected like a tremolo. The third thing that we want to do is be used to the idea of a leading finger that we're not used to. So, you know, if you're a guy that, you know, or gal that normally plays box 1, Okay, right here. Well, playing your pinky here is going to open you up to the way. Well, as I look down at my hand, from you as the player's perspective, you look down at your hand, and this way, your own left. And now I'm playing this note with my pinky. No, don't slide it up. You're stuck here. Your pinky on 5th fret of the 1st string. I'm looking to the left. What can I discover? Flat 7th, major 6th, perfect 5th. So that's one very strong purpose. Now we put it here and all right, now we put the middle finger here, kind of stuck in the middle. When I have the middle finger centered between 2 notes of a scale, separated by a whole tone on either side, G, that's the flat 7th, to A, that's the root, to B, that's the 2nd. It makes me think that we can get 3 notes per string here. That kind of stuff. I'm not very good at it. And finally, our 1st finger puts us right in our usual. So you're going to go through and play every scale tone with 3 different fingers. Every one of your pentatonic scale tones. That don't have to do the blues note. We're going to go. That's the major 6th. The challenge, I will say, for those of you who use a pick to play the guitar, it's going to be a little bit easier, but you should still use your fingers though to try it. So I'm going to run through box 1 this way. So every box goes that way. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out for the Super Blues lesson.